Hello friends, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. So today's pick a card reading is a you versus them reading, and I have 4 piles for you guys to choose from. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's energy, and I will see you in a minute. Hello, pile 1. So today's pick a card reading is a you versus them reading. And essentially how we're going to do it, if you have not seen a you versus them reading before, is first we are going to look at the oracles that I've pulled. This pile here is going to represent one of you, how you're showing up in this connection, what your energy toward the connection is. This pile here is going to do the same for the other person. The card in the middle is representative of your connecting energies in the current moment. We'll pull tarot to see what each of you is thinking, feeling, and what's shifting for the both of you. And we'll also get connecting energies for all 3 of those things. And of course, we'll pull some advice at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. I haven't done one of these. I feel like I haven't posted in a really long time, so I'm excited to be back in this creative energy. So person 1 is being represented as the Hermit and the Whale. And their energy toward the connection is number 39. You can't find goodness because you lost your heart. And person 2 is being represented as the Slave and the Firefly. And their energy toward the connection currently is no bull. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the Whale person. It seems like this Whale person has been feeling a little bit let down or hurt by this connection in the recent past or currently, in the sense of them having wanted to make this connection go deeper, go further into an emotional space perhaps. And it feels like the Whale doesn't think that the Firefly and the Whale are seeing eye to eye currently on how a connection is meant to look. And because of this, the Whale person seems to have withdrawn. It seems like there's not a whole lot of trust on the Whale's end for this Firefly, and because of this, they are shutting down. Their energy toward the connection is you can't find goodness because you lost your heart, and it seems like this Whale person is really swimming in their own emotions currently, and they're hurtful, painful emotions, and because there's so much pain or so much discomfort here currently, this Whale seems to be really putting up some walls to protect themselves. This person really seems to be in an energy of self-protection or self-preservation at the moment. And it could very well be that this is perceived rejection or perceived abandonment rather than real rejection or abandonment by this Firefly. It seems like there might be a matter of just 2 perspectives that aren't being understood by one another. However, that doesn't have to be the case. I'm seeing 2 different scenarios, and we'll get into it in just a second. The Firefly person seems to be showing up in this connection currently as somebody who is a little bit flighty, or somebody who is kind of all over the place, maybe comes in and out of this Whale person's life. And I do see that energy here. And of course, that doesn't have to be entirely the case either. But I think if this isn't a matter of 2 perspectives just not being understood, this makes the most sense, where the Whale feels abandoned by the Firefly because the Firefly comes and goes as they please. I see an energy with this Firefly person of somebody who can't be caught, or who does not want to be caught or tied down, and is really trying to understand what it means to connect with others while still maintaining a sense of self. With no bull here, it feels like the Firefly genuinely, for a lot of the fireflies, I would say, they genuinely do care about this whale, and they are trying to help the whale understand that there is attraction or emotional attachment here for the firefly, and this is just how the firefly portrays itself, or it seems like the firefly feels misunderstood, and they don't mean to cause pain or heartbreak for the whale. It seems like the firefly wants to try to come to an understanding where they can be themselves wholly and completely and authentically, while at the same time helping the whale understand just how much this person cares for the whale. But I see both sides. I see how the whale person might be under the impression that the firefly just really doesn't have that much of a emphasis on value for this connection. Like perhaps they are thinking that the firefly has more important things that they want to focus on, or there are other things catching the firefly's eye, or perhaps there are other people, other things that are attracted to the firefly's light. And there's just an element here of really not seeing eye to eye, but both parties caring deeply for one another. And it seems like the firefly wants to be understood and the whale doesn't want to be hurt. And then the connecting energy between the two of these people right now is the siren. So I would say that this goes hand in hand with what I've been saying. There's attraction here on both ends. And a lot of it is very sensual attraction. But what I would say when it comes to these two people is that casual sex or casual interactions is not something that these two people are capable of together. Like perhaps when they're in connections with other people, they can have interactions like that and they can be casual, or they can remain on the same level the entire time. But when it comes to these two people, there is a deep emotional bond here that really is triggered or is required to be felt whenever these two get together. So there's a lot of emotional there's a lot of deep emotions here on both ends that are currently showing up for both of these people. Let's go ahead and get into what it is that the whale is currently thinking. What is the whale currently thinking about this connection? Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords. We have the World. And we have the Queen of Cups. Let's also pull for what this person is thinking. The firefly person. Okay, we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Chariot. Okay. So the whale person seems to be at a crossroads. There's two things here indicating crossroads. We have the Two of Wands here for the firefly, and then we have the World here in the middle for the whale. And so what I'm seeing for the whale is that there is a cycle that this whale is really desiring to get out of when it comes to this connection, and the cycle that they want to get out of, or the phase that they want to have end when it comes to this connection, is the logical side. The Queen of Swords is a very logical, analytical energy, one that is really ruled by their mind, by their thoughts, very calculated energy. And the whale really does not want to be in this energy. The whale really does not want to constantly be either overthinking this or feeling jealous about certain aspects of this connection, or feeling as though they're constantly in their head, or like the other person is not meeting them where they want to be met. They want to end that cycle of analyzing and of just kind of like feeling like there's a coldness or a sharpness or an abruptness to this connection, and they want to be more so in their heart space. They have this desire for this connection to go deeper. And the whale really is an animal that is truly in their heart space and is incredibly wise and compassionate and loving and gentle, and uses all of the experiences in their past or in their present to open up their heart space even more. And that this is showing me that this whale person wants to keep their heart space open and wants to stop going back and forth with words, perhaps, or just with analyzing what needs to happen next. Then over here we have the firefly, and the firefly person is also at a crossroads where they're recognizing that they are going to have to make a decision soon. This is heavy on their mind. This is what they're thinking about. And what they're realizing is that they realize that they need to come to terms with the fact that sometimes connecting with another person deeply is not synonymous with losing your freedom or your autonomy. Making promises to others or committing to others does not mean that you lose big things, big parts of yourself. There can actually be an incredible gain, an incredible evolutionary process that comes from making commitments to others, knowing full well that in your heart that's what you want to do. And so they're currently really thinking about what it means to be alone for them, what it means to be single perhaps, and also what it means to move things along. I think what they're really thinking about right now is aspects of their past selves, perhaps how they've shown up in other connections in the past, where they reach a point in which they recognize that the connection can no longer go any further without having to make a commitment of some kind, and they've always chosen to step back and not move things along, and they're realizing that they're at this point now as well in this connection. It seems like there's a battle between this Nine of Pentacles, this abundant woman by herself, and the Chariot, somebody who is very driven and knows exactly where they're headed, where they're going, and has no plan on stopping or delaying that. So yeah, I think the whale is heavy, thinking heavily on what it is that they want, what it is that they wish would happen. But I think they're also understanding that they feel very dependent on the choice of the firefly. And the firefly is also really thinking heavily about their behavior and what they're bringing to the table and how they need to show up for the whale. Let's go ahead and keep going. How is this whale person feeling? We have the Five of Pentacles. How are they feeling currently? We have the Page of Cups. And we have Judgment. And for the Firefly, how's the Firefly currently feeling? We have Temperance. How's the Firefly currently feeling? We have the Four of Wands. And we have the Eight of Wands. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is a no contact situation, or a huge shift has happened in this connection in the recent past. And things just aren't how they used to be. The whale person feels very, very abandoned. Feels very abandoned and like they've been wronged, and like they are owed an apology or are owed a conversation explaining why things have happened the way in which they have. They feel like they're owed a lot by this firefly, or perhaps not owed. Perhaps they feel as though they are deserving of these things, because they know that this matters, that they matter to the firefly. But yeah, they feel very abandoned and kind of rejected, I would say. The firefly person has a strong desire to give this whale what it is that they want. The firefly has a desire to communicate, has a desire to be in union, has a desire to have things go back to the way they are, and feels very much like they owe it to the whale. They want to help heal the rifts or the cracks, the fissures that have gone on between the two of them. I would say for the firefly person, the whale is very much so in their heart right now. And they're replaying things over and over and over again. And they're trying to come up with a way in which to make things right. And like I see here with no bull, they really don't want to give the whale person the runaround. Okay, let's see what's shifting for the whale. Okay, so the whale has temperance now, and the Queen of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. And what's shifting for the firefly? We have the King of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Ten of Wands. So for the whale person, I would say that the whale person is already kind of in this energy of temperance, the Queen of Pentacles, the Hierophant. I see it with the Hermit. This person really is actively working on making themselves feel better. And this isn't in a way that is escapist or like escapey in any way. Like, I don't see anything here that's saying that this person is avoiding this connection or their feelings. If anything, they're really trying to ground themselves and stabilize themselves so that they can become the best version of themselves possible, which is very much what the whale does just in general. And this person is evolving into a wiser, more confident person based on what has transpired or what is transpiring between the two of these people currently. When it comes to what's shifting for the firefly, it feels like this firefly is soon going to be having a wake-up call. That's what I'm seeing with the King of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune, is a wake-up call of realizing that if they don't take action, if they don't take control of their life, if they don't make a plan, they are soon going to regret a whole bunch. And the weight of how they're feeling, the weight of what it is that they know, is really going to become a burden that might not ever entirely go away if they don't do what is healthy and right for them. The biggest thing I'm getting for the firefly is that what's shifting for them is a wake-up call. They're either right in the middle of a wake-up call or it's on its way to them. Let's go ahead and see what are the connecting energies between what both of these people are thinking. What are they both thinking currently? Oops. Love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Yeah. So the connecting energy of the connection is the Siren. And then if you look at love, these two cards look a lot alike when it comes to coloring and things like that. Both parties acknowledge the depths of their emotions, and they aren't able to get away from them. It's what they think about constantly, is how they both care for one another deeply. What are they feeling? They're both feeling perseverance. Yeah, it feels like this whale person understands what it is that what they deserve, and they are not going to let that knowledge go. They're not going to sweep that under the rug. And the firefly person also understands that these thoughts that they're having, these feelings that they're having, are not going to go away. And the longer they avoid them, or the longer they try not to engage with them, the more difficult it is going to be for them. And then in terms of what is shifting for the both of them, we have number 6, conflict. So I would say that this is something that probably is going to continue on into the near future. However, if this is like a no contact situation, it does seem to me like there is going to be an opportunity that presents itself where communication is had. But I don't... conflict happens no matter what in any connection, and I think what this is saying is that there is an opportunity for both people to practice their authenticity and to be genuine when it comes to what it is that they want, who they are, what they desire. And as long as both parties are honest, which is what this shift is calling everybody here to do, there's no reason why conflict should remain stagnant. So if everybody here, what this is telling me is that if both parties are truthful and honest about what it is that they want, the sooner the conflict will go away. Whether or not that's we're in agreement and we can move forward and see where this goes, or we're not in agreement but we've been honest and at least we didn't lie to each other or try to fit together when it wasn't working and waste each other's times. Whatever it is, the key here is that what's shifting is honesty. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. So I'm going to get one card here on the side of the whale. Oh, okay. And the whale already knows this. Everyone's a teacher. Everyone I cross paths with is a teacher in that moment. The ones who give me the fun lessons are the ones I call friends. The ones who give me the hard lessons I sometimes call a-holes. They've chosen a tough job, but someone's got to do it. So today I'm thanking all the a-holes. Thank you, a-holes, for playing your part in making me a better person. And for the firefly, what does the firefly need to hear right now? I'm not taking them. What's the firefly need to hear right now? Patience. Congratulations, you've been granted more patience. You may start using it right away or much, much later. Waiting a long time is the sort of option now afforded to you by greater patience. Can you believe it? Look at this. You're still reading and you haven't started getting annoyed yet. Imagine how this patience will transform your life. Imagine how easy it will be to go to the post office. And let's also go ahead and get some affirmations. We have, my kindness is a gift I bestow upon the world. And one more, please. I celebrate all the greatness in my life. All right, pile one. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you guys today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to subscribe so you'll know when other videos come out. Thank you so much for watching pile one, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye. Hello to my beautiful pile twos. So today's pick a card reading is a you versus them reading, and essentially how it goes is the oracle cards here represent both of you. One pile is you, one pile is your person. You'll decide which is which. We'll look into how you both are showing up in this connection, what your energy toward the connection is, as well as your connecting energy currently. We'll also get into tarot, and we'll look into what each of you is thinking, feeling, and what's shifting for the both of you, as well as what the connecting energies are for each of those three things. So, and we'll also, of course, get some advice. So, person one is currently being represented as the warrior and the hyena. And their energy toward the connection currently is number 17, make believe, and number 15, hiding. Okay. Person two is currently showing up as the gambler, the phoenix, and the elephant. And their energy toward the connection is number 32, the hold. Okay. And then the connecting energy between the two of these people is Anima Mundi. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll first start with the hyena. So it seems like this person here on the left is somebody who makes it almost obvious, or like puts on a show of some kind, of simply not caring, of doing what it is that they want, and really being selfish in that regard, or not being mindful of how their actions affect others. And it seems to be kind of a farce. It seems to be kind of like a protective measure for this person, where they really don't want to have to take a look at the depths of their feelings or the depths of their needs, their fears, their wants, their hopes and desires. All of that is very, very scary for this hyena. And so instead of embracing that and kind of riding the wave, this person puts up walls, and they put on a persona or a facade of somebody who simply does not care or who lacks emotional depth. And it couldn't be further from the truth. However, the way they portray themselves, the way they interact with others because of these fears or self-limiting beliefs affects others regardless of whether or not they mean for it to. And it seems like the hyena, seeing that the warrior is here, I feel as though the hyena has harmed or hurt this elephant in some way, shape, or form in the recent past. The elephant person seems to be somebody who is marching to a new frequency, or is vibing to a new frequency currently. And it's something that I think is outside of their comfort zone. But how they were interacting in this connection was no longer working for them. It wasn't working for them in the sense of being able to connect with this hyena. It wasn't working for them in the sense of being able to feel good about themselves or feel like they have perhaps self-respect or stability, emotional stability within themselves. And because of this, because they recognized that there was how they were approaching the situation was not working, they have chosen to step outside of their comfort zone and approach life differently. And in doing so, the elephant person really feels as though they are transforming. And it could be very much so that the hyena is very aware of this new behavior, of this shift in energy, and is unsure of what's going to happen because the patterns that this connection have taken on in the past are no longer happening. And so everything seems very, very, very up in the air. But this elephant seems to really be focusing on themselves, really be focusing on their own emotional well-being, because they're looking at this hyena and recognizing that the hyena is barely even looking out for the hyena's self, and they're not doing a very good job of it. And the hyena, in the elephant's eyes, cannot meet the needs of the elephant currently. And rather than resisting that knowledge, the elephant seems to be in a state of acceptance and in a state of moving barriers in their own life to find the love that they desire. It seems like the hyena is perhaps in a little bit of denial, like a state of denial right now with make-believe, and also is still currently energetically showing up in this connection as somebody who does not care that these changes are happening, which couldn't be further from the truth, because all this person is doing is pretending that everything's okay, all the while really feeling hurt by what has gone on in this connection. The elephant is also in their feels. However, they're in a much more evolved state than the hyena. And it seems like the elephant has really allowed themselves to feel their feelings and weed out experiences, people, places that their emotions are telling them are not good for them or are not serving them at the moment. And because the hold is here when it comes to the energy toward the connection, it feels like the elephant has really withdrawn from the hyena, has really acknowledged that the hyena might be bringing the elephant down. The connecting energies between these two people is Anima Mundi, and one of the key phrases of this card is accept all, reject none. And I'm really getting the sense, at least for the elephant, I'm not sure entirely about the hyena, but it feels like the elephant isn't really judging or placing judgment on this connection, but is rather simply accepting things as they are, all the while still feeling very much so connected to the hyena. And the hyena, even though they, for some reason, are struggling with accepting their feelings, accepting their fears, accepting their shadow side, cannot shake the connection that they feel for this elephant. So there is a very deep sacred connection here that's full of lessons and full of opportunities for growth. Let's go ahead and see what this hyena person is thinking. As long as that resonated with you, you know that's your pile now. Let's see what the hyena is thinking. Okay, so the Six of Cups, it came out reversed. The Ace of Cups. Okay. And we also have the Four of Swords and the Three of Wands. I'll go ahead. Okay. So, what the hyena is thinking is that there's a pretty serious rift here, that they acknowledge, just from random thoughts, like when it crosses their mind, they acknowledge it. However, they don't want to think about it or feel it for very long, because it's something that would really overwhelm them emotionally. But the Six of Cups reversed is, I feel like this person is looking back on things and seeing things from a different perspective, seeing things from the perspective of, maybe I didn't treat this elephant the way in which they deserved. This connection deserved more from me, because at the end of the day, this person was, in the very least, my friend. And they're also thinking, with the Four of Swords here and the Three of Wands, that they're under the impression that this isn't a permanent type of separation or a permanent type of distance between the two of you. They are under the impression that you will return, or that if I'm sorry, if you're not the elephant, you're under the impression that the elephant will return. If you're the elephant, they're under the impression that you will return. There we go. They're really hopeful that there's still the possibility of things going back to normal. But it almost feels like with the Six of Cups reversed, it almost feels like, yes, they're thinking that, but their gut is telling them that that's not the case. And, you know, for make-believe to be here, it feels like they're really trying to rationalize what's going on between the two of you, or whoever, what's going on between the two of you. This person is trying to rationalize, so whether or not it's you or them, because accepting what their mind or what their gut is actually telling them is going on is too much for them to deal with currently. That's very heavy. Let's see what the elephant is currently thinking. Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands, the Three of Cups, and the Lovers. Okay, so what this is telling me is that the elephant person is really in a state of wanting to have peace at the moment, wanting to have a good time. They are wanting to let go of the heaviness that they have felt in the past, wanting to let go of icky feelings that they have felt, and really they're just wanting to enjoy life, to vibrate higher. And in doing so, there really is this idea within them that if they do what feels good and they focus on things that raise their vibration, what is meant for them is going to come to them. And what they're really hoping for is a connection. And I'm not necessarily sure if that is a connection with this person. And I think that's what the elephant would say, is that they would like it to be with this person, but only if they were to be treated the right way, in the ways in which they deserve. Otherwise, they are okay with the universe providing them with the gift of love elsewhere. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and see what the hyena's feeling. We have the Six of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the Lovers, and the Six of Wands. Okay, so whether or not the hyena wants to admit it, the hyena doesn't want to admit it, but they care for deeply. They deeply care for this elephant. And their pride is getting in the way. Their pride is getting in the way of this. They want to connect. They want to care for this person. They want this connection to expand. There's a lot of desire here, but there's a lot of ego. There's ego in the sense of, I don't want to reach out, or I don't want to do X, Y, and Z for the elephant because the elephant hasn't done X, Y, and Z. This person is very much in a place of transaction right now, based on fear, based on not knowing what it means to be vulnerable, or not having a lot of practice in it. And then the elephant is currently feeling, okay, so that came out, so we'll keep it. We have the Ten of Pentacles, the Sun, the Fool, and the Three of Wands. Okay. It's interesting that similar cards keep coming out in different positions for each person, but they're telling me something totally different. So the elephant person is currently feeling the rewards of the changes they have made in their life, in their thought processes. This person feels like blessings are on their way, like they are really healing, like they are making the choices that are right for them. And in doing so, what the vibration that they are vibing at is being sent out into the universe and being returned to them tenfold. So I would say the elephant is really in a state of trust right now and is feeling really excited about what's to come in the future. When it comes to what's shifting, okay, we have the sun now for the hyena. What's shifting for the hyena? We have the Five of Swords. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so when it comes to what is shifting for this hyena, it seems to me like a perspective shift is what's on the way for the hyena. It feels like there's a wake-up call for this hyena in the sense of understanding that things aren't transactional, understanding that not every interaction one has with another person has to be one where you come out on top. There's just a change in perspective, an element of healing, or of at least feeling a little bit at peace and feeling more grounded than this person does right now. Let's see what's shifting for the elephant. Okay, so I'll take these because I saw them. We have the Three of Swords, the Five of Wands, and we have the Six of Cups. So what's shifting for the elephant is like true inner peace, like truly letting go, an element of forgiveness here. And I'm not saying that the elephant is required to forgive the hyena or to forgive themselves, but there just seems to be an element of being at peace with where things are at, and accepting. It seems like the elephant is already in this energy and it's just amplified. There's just an element of acceptance here, of feeling protected, of protecting their heart and doing what's right for them, and things kind of falling into place. Let's see what the connecting energy is for what these two people are feeling. Okay, so we have patience and we have service. And then what are both of these people thinking currently? Self-esteem. I think that's really interesting, this self-esteem card, because I feel like the elephant is really truly working on themselves and like wanting to feel good just in general for the sake of loving themselves and wanting to live in peace. Whereas this hyena seems to be working on their self-esteem in the sense of wanting to look like they're coming out on top currently. This person is going through it right now. They're putting themselves through a lot. When it comes to how both of these people are feeling, we have patience and service. I think both parties feel so very, very connected to one another, and they're both hoping in a sense that this isn't completely over, that this is just a break. I think the elephant has a little bit more faith in whatever is to come, but both parties are still connected to one another and are hoping for the best. When it comes to what's shifting for the both of them, we have number 54, careful affection. So I do see with this careful affection card that there is a coming together of some kind, but it's not going to be like it was in the past. With careful affection, it feels like there's an element of understanding that things cannot remain the same and going about exploring one another's needs and desires patiently, slowly, lovingly, so as not to create more damage. It seems like both people are really shifting towards something more healing. I think with the Three of Swords here and the Five of Wands, the Elephant is definitely shifting into a space of standing up for themselves more, rather than simply stepping away from things that are no longer serving them. If they're approached with something that seems like it's not good for them, they're going to advocate for themselves. I see that here. Let's go ahead and get some advice. If I can find it. Okay. So let's see what the hyena needs to hear. What does the hyena need to hear? Okay. We have, okay, both of these want to come out, so we'll do both. We have engagement. Today I make the conscious choice to engage with the world in an active way. I'll take a new route and talk to strangers. I will smell flowers and pet dogs and maybe walk around barefoot for a while if I'm not inside a 7-Eleven. At the very least, I'll have a day that's slightly more interesting than average, and at the most, I'll have a startling epiphany or make a friend who will change my life forever. No pressure. And communication. Wonder how that other person is feeling? Ask them. Wish they knew how you were feeling? Tell them. You've just been drafted into the communication army, where there is a strict do ask, do tell policy. Speak with kindness and gentleness and reach an understanding. If you don't, assumption will just make asses of everyone, including the person who came up with that aphorism? Aphorism? Aphorism. Okay, and what about the elephant? What does the elephant need to hear right now? Okay. Playfulness. I am a playful participant in life, and I always have the option to make something a fun game rather than a heavy burden. Mary Poppins puts sugar in the medicine for a reason. That lady really knows how to party. And lastly, let's go ahead and get you guys some affirmations. What affirmations do they need to hear? When I move my body, I feel empowered, cleansed, and strong. And one more. I am willing to see my sameness with others. This opens my awareness to oneness. All right, pile 2. Well, that's what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about what's going on in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching pile 2, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, beautiful pile 3s. So today's reading is a you versus them pick a card reading. And essentially how we do it is we have our oracle cards here. These two piles here represent one of you and the other one in terms of how you're showing up in this connection and what your energy toward the connection is currently. This card here represents what the connecting energies in this connection are right now. We'll get into tarot. We'll ask what each of you is thinking, feeling, and what's shifting for you individually, as well as the connecting energies for all three of those things. And we'll also get some advice cards at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. I feel very excited to be back. It's been a little while. My schedule has been insane with work. I've been working way too many hours. And things are changing for me, and I'm happy about that because this is something that I really love doing. So I'm so thankful that you're watching this right now, pile 3. But let's go ahead and get into it. So person 1 is currently showing up as the hero/heroine and the cobra. And their energy toward the connection is number 31, cornucopia. Person 2 is currently showing up in this connection as the judge and the lion, and their energy toward the connection is number 3, everything you need too soon. Okay, and then the connecting energy between these two people currently is the offering. So we'll go ahead and start with the person on the left, the cobra person. I get the feeling that this Cobra person is very much so in their feels for the lion. It seems like this might be a newer connection, or a connection that is being rekindled in some way, shape, or form. And I feel that way based on what I'm seeing with the lion, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Basically, what I'm seeing with this Cobra person is somebody who sees something very, very special about this connection, something that's very promising, something that's very exciting. And because this person sees the value of the lion and what the lion has to offer, the Cobra is willing to wait for the lion. There's an element here of patience, of acceptance, of allowing people the time they need to reach their own conclusions. And the Cobra seems to feel as though the connection that they have with the lion is something that is to be really honored and valued. And in doing so, they're working on their own self journey, on their own growth. It's all very, very positive and incredibly sweet. This person seems like a very genuine person based on what I'm seeing here. Somebody who's very giving with cornucopia here. They want to share life's joys, life's gifts, the blessings that they have been given with the lion. And they also really are envisioning a future with this lion in a way in which there's abundance, there's growth for the both of them. This person seems to be very level-headed and very much all about the lion. Like it's very, very, I feel it strongly. Like there's just this warmth that the Cobra feels for the lion. The Cobra wants to care for the lion. The lion seems to be needing the patience that the Cobra is offering. The lion seems to be in a place in which they are still working on self-mastery, and it feels like with this everything you need to soon card here, like the Cobra came, like the lion wasn't looking for the Cobra just came out of thin air, and the lion doesn't feel ready for this. Perhaps the lion has been seeing other people or has other loose ends to tie up in their own life, or perhaps their life is really chaotic or has felt really messy in the past, and they don't feel like they can give the Cobra everything that the Cobra deserves because the lion is still trying to figure out their life. And because of this, the lion seems to be in a place where they don't want to necessarily lead the Cobra on. They want to be honest and compassionate and forthright with the Cobra, but they also don't want to lose the Cobra in the process. And so the lion is really, it seems like they're really trying to practice self-mastery when it comes to not leading anybody on, when it comes to making sure that their life is in order, when it comes to perhaps severing ties with other relationships or connections that are no longer serving them. They see a lot of value in the Cobra and in their connection. They feel very cared for. If you look at this image, you see a star covering their eyes and they're being showered with hearts. And I think what this is indicative of is that the lion feels all this love and all of this nurturance that the Cobra is wanting to give the lion, but it kind of scares the lion. And perhaps this is because the lion has never really experienced anything like this and they don't want to screw it up. The connecting energy is the offering. So even though I would say that the lion feels fearful that they might be too much for the Cobra, or might be taking advantage of the Cobra, or might not be able to give back to the Cobra what the lion feels are really powerful gifts that are being given to the lion, it couldn't be further from the truth. What this is indicating is that both parties have something to give one another, and there's a sacredness to it. And in giving to one another, whatever it is that they can give, they receive so much in return, just from the small act of giving to others. There is an element here of sacrifice, of needing to let something go. And perhaps the Cobra is in a place where they also feel as though they have to sacrifice something for this connection, or they are very aware that the Lion isn't in a place currently to dive completely in, but that is being highlighted here as well. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a great deal of care on both ends for one another. And it feels very authentic. It feels very gentle. It feels like it's without motive. It's simply because these two people care for one another. Let's see what the Cobra is thinking in terms of this connection. What is the Cobra thinking? Okay. So we have the Ten of Cups, Temperance, and the Sun. Okay, so the Cobra is thinking that this is a dream come true. This is something very wonderful. It feels like they can't believe that they've met this Lion person, and they see such a beautiful future, and they see something that can bring both of you so much happiness. And because they are aware of the specialness that they're feeling, they're also being very, very mindful and intentional with the amount of pressure or the amount of swiftness or quickness that they put on this connection. They want to take things slow because they think that it will be worth it. They're being very intentional when it comes to how slowly they take this. They don't want to give the Lion the wrong impression. They don't want the Lion to feel as though this Cobra is trying to manipulate them or is trying to push this connection along faster than is needed. They really want the Lion to trust them. Let's see what the Lion is thinking. What's the Lion thinking? Okay, we have Death. Okay, we have the Fool. It came out reversed. Oh, okay. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and then the Nine of Wands also came out reversed. Okay, so this further confirms what I was saying about how the Lion feels as though something must end for this connection to progress. And they feel very fearful. They're not in a place right now to just take a huge leap of faith. And they're also not necessarily ready to let go of the things that they need to let go of. And this could be something as simple as their pride. I'm seeing a lot here that's indicative of abundance when it comes to this Cobra person. So perhaps the Cobra is wanting to help them financially, and this person here has an element of pride or hopes and dreams for themselves when it comes to their own financial future that they really want to focus on, and they don't want to let go of it, even though right now they might be burdened. There's just an element here of this person, this Lion person, really thinking a lot about what they would have to give up or what would have to end in order for this connection to move forward. And they recognize that in doing so, in accepting an ending, there would be something really beneficial and there would be a beginning. And they recognize that. They're just not sure, they're just not quite ready to take that step. Let's see how they're feeling. How is the Cobra feeling? So we have the King of Pentacles, the Chariot, and we have the Hermit. So the Cobra is feeling very confident in themselves, very confident in what they can offer, very confident in the fact that if this lion needs to take space, that's okay, but has a strong urge, a strong desire to move this connection along, to come charging towards this lion and let the lion know that they care for them, they want to be there for them. However, they also respect the lion enough to give the lion space when is needed. There's just, this Cobra person just seems so incredibly wise. I don't even know if that's the word I'm looking for. Mature, very mature. Okay, and what's the lion feeling? The Two of Cups. Justice. Okay, we have the Three of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Okay, so the lion is definitely in their feels, like has a definite attraction, is very drawn, feels attached, feels very connected to the Cobra. And they want to do right by the Cobra. Justice, the Three of Swords, and the Queen of Cups is telling me that this lion wants to treat this Cobra so well and is worried that they could potentially hurt the Cobra or could be hurt in the future. There's an element here. I really think that it's the other way around. This lion person wants to do the right thing, wants to be the best version of themselves that they can be. And there's an element of fear here of not being able to show up the way in which the Cobra deserves. I would say the lion views the Cobra very, very highly. There's an immense amount of respect here on top of attraction and love. And what's shifting for the Cobra? Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. We have the Nine of Swords, and we have the Six of Wands. Okay, so for the Cobra, I would say that what's shifting is that there might be some times in the near future where the Cobra begins to worry that what it is that they want is not going to happen. But everything here is indicating that there is victory. The Queen of Wands and the Six of Wands can represent victory or getting what it is that you want, what it is that you're manifesting. But it seems like the Cobra might be shifting into a period in which they feel a little bit insecure, or they feel worried that everything they've been working for isn't going to come to light. And what's shifting for this lion? We have the Magician, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. This lion, what's shifting for the lion is this lion is becoming more empowered, is beginning to trust themselves more, is beginning to put in the work that they need to in order to be the person that they know this Cobra deserves, is becoming more curious about the future that they have or could have with the Cobra, becoming more curious about whatever it is that they are desiring or acknowledging that they need to let go of. There's expansive energy here and energy of growth for the lion in terms of what's shifting for them, which is really exciting. And then in terms of the connecting energy for what these people are thinking, we have happiness. Both of these people know that this is a connection that can bring about a lot of healthy attachment, a lot of healthy communication, which in turn brings happiness. They both feel as though this is the path for them, like they're where they're meant to be currently. What are they currently feeling? Envy. Okay, that's very interesting. I think that both parties are worried, like Like the lion might be a little bit worried that the cobra isn't going to wait for them. The cobra might be a little bit worried that the lion isn't going to start facing the cobra. There's just there's a level of insecurity that both parties feel, and perhaps the insecurity for the lion is just that they aren't good enough, whereas for the cobra it's that they're recognizing that they could be the best partner in the world and it wouldn't matter if someone's not ready, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. I think what envy here most likely is signifying is insecurity. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in terms of what they're what's shifting for the both of them, we have abundance and we have great abundance. This connection seems to be something that's pretty destined, pretty meant to be. And I keep getting the feeling that like finances are involved. I mean, like there's so much here representing abundance. And of course, abundance isn't just money. There's abundance, like look at this image of all these hearts falling down. There's an abundance of love, of care, an abundance of happiness, of peace. There's so much growth here. And I think that like the thing that just came to mind is that good things take time. There are certain laws of nature, rules of nature that have to be followed. You know, you can water a seed over and over and over again, but if it's not its time, it's not its time. But there's just a lot here indicating that this connection is going to empower both people. And both people are going to be growing together. This is absolutely beautiful, pile 3. Let's go ahead and get you some advice. So what advice is there for the cobra? No need to do. I'm exactly where I need to be, exactly when I need to be. There's nothing more I need to do. I mean, yes, there will always be laundry and taxes, but in terms of my life's path, I don't need to do anything because I'm already here. I take a deep breath, relax, and trust, and then I do the laundry. And what does the lion need to hear? Ideal partnership. I am a rare and precious find, and my brilliance will be reflected back to me when I am paired with a true match. My ideal partnerships and working relationships are easy and free-flowing. I deserve greatness because I am greatness, and to paraphrase Rumi, what I'm looking for is also looking for me. In fact, he or she might be paraphrasing Rumi right now. Let's also get you some affirmations. What affirmations are there for pile 3? Guidance is available to me now. I know that angels, ancestors, and spirit guides are always at hand. I do not walk alone. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. All right, pile 3. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, pile 3. I truly appreciate you having clicked on this video, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye. Hello, beautiful pile 4. So today's pick a card reading is a you versus them reading. And essentially how it works is the oracle cards right here represent you and your person, how you're both showing up in the connection, what your energies toward the connection are. This card here represents the connecting energies between the two of you currently. We'll get into tarot. We'll ask the cards what each of you is thinking, feeling, and what's shifting. And we'll also get the connecting energies for all 3 of those things. And lastly, we'll go ahead and get some advice cards. So let's go ahead and get on into it, pile 4. The first person in this connection is currently showing up as the king and the owl. And their energy toward the connection is number 20, the one who needs to control. Okay. And the second person in this connection is showing up as Midas Miser and the tarantula. And their energy is number 63, cast your sacred symbols, and number 9, Fire Mother. And then the connecting energy between these two people currently is the Medallion. Okay, so right off the bat, pile 4, I would say that this connection is either a connection that has that's really established, like a very long-term connection where your finances are really intertwined, or perhaps this is a business partnership of some kind. There's a lot here alluding to finances and business. The first person, the person on the left, the owl, is giving me the energy of somebody who might be in charge, or who is under the impression that they are in charge or that they know best. And part of it might be rightfully so. With the owl here, this is a very wise, auspicious animal that represents abundance. And kings are typically representative of abundance and leadership as well. So it could be both, that they feel entitled to this belief in themselves and there's reason for it. Or they actually are perhaps this person's boss, or they've been the one that has mainly dealt with finances in this relationship in the past. And it seems to me like this is something that is changing. And because it's changing, the owl person seems to be somebody who is really resistant to this, who really isn't wanting to let go of that power or that control that they've had, that leadership that they've had. They seem to be struggling with this currently. The tarantula seems to be very much changing course right now. And I think that with the Midas Miser here, this could be something that's entrepreneurial. It could be a change in jobs, or perhaps stopping work altogether. There's just an element here of changing course when it comes to finances in some way, shape, or form. And the tarantula seems to really be under the impression that the choice that they make, the changes that they make in their own life, of course, are going to affect this other person. However, at the same time, they don't see a threat the way in which this owl person does. It seems more so like they're separating the two, or like the changes they're making, they don't feel are a part of the identity of this connection in some sort of way. They feel as though they can make these changes and still show up as a good partner or friend or lover or whatever it is. And they're being really intentional with it. They feel as though it's their time to make a mark. And I think I get the feeling that that's why there's some resistance from the owl, is that it's just not how the owl would go about things. But the point is that the tarantula doesn't want to go about things the way the owl does. They want to go about things the way a tarantula would. And then the connecting energy is the medallion, which is just further confirmation that there is the strongest connection right now is of material topics, if that makes sense. Like there's a financial connection, like perhaps there's some sort of financial dependence, or financial advice that's like being given and not being listened to. There's just something here very strongly that is indicative of a financial connection or transaction of some kind. But let's keep going. Let's see how this owl is thinking. What is this owl currently thinking about in terms of the tarantula and this connection? Okay. So we have the Fool, the Moon, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So the owl is, I get the feeling that a lot of these cards are really being directed at the tarantula. Like right now what's going on in this owl's head is that they think this tarantula has not thought things through all the way, that they're making a foolish decision, that the decision that they make doesn't have a guaranteed outcome, and it worries the owl. Yeah, the owl is very concerned. Let's see what the tarantula is thinking. This is such an interesting read. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles. We have the Magician, and we have the Fool again. So the tarantula, what's on the tarantula's mind? The tarantula feels very confident in the decision that they make. They don't have a doubt in their head that the choice that they are making is one where the outcome is going to be good. They feel very confident when it comes to the choices that they've made. They feel very confident in their abilities to and what they bring to the table. These two people are not seeing eye to eye. It's like polar opposite. Let's see how this owl is feeling. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Page of Cups. This is such a random reading. The owl person recognizes that there's nothing that they can do, and I think there's an element here with the Page of Cups of feeling apologetic, of feeling sorry for how they have behaved, but they also feel very fearful, and they're very worried for the tarantula, or very concerned, or they're very fearful and very worried because whatever the tarantula's decision is affects them as well, affects their own finances or stability in some way, shape, or form. And how does the tarantula feel? Where did it go? Okay, we have the Six of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. So what this is telling me is that the tarantula feels inspired and is not going to be deterred by fears. If anything, the tarantula, it seems like, is trying to avoid conflict with this owl person. They want peace. They want peace, and they want somebody to be happy for them. They have a desire for the owl person to express some curiosity, or at least give them their blessing, or maybe just keep their opinions to themselves currently. There's just an element here. The Six of Swords essentially is telling me that this tarantula is going to do what they need to do in order to feel at peace with themselves. The Page of Swords and the Ace of Wands is all about a perspective shift. It seems like this tarantula has had some sort of aha moment in the recent past, and they have no intention of turning back to the way things were. And then what's shifting for this owl? We have the Magician. It's so interesting how these cards come out for both people. Okay, this is good. Okay, so we have the Magician, the Three of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. It seems like what's shifting for this owl is the fact that the owl is recognizing that they can worry all they want, but it's not going to do them any good. They're going to have to change approaches, and they're going to have, if they want to have a say, or if they want to have a part in whatever the heck is going on right now. This is so bizarre to me, but if they want to have a part in this, they are going to have to set aside their worries, their fears, or their doubts about this tarantula, and really start trusting in the tarantula the way the tarantula trusts in themselves. They're really going to have to see, the owl is going to have to see themselves as this magician who is capable with whatever life throws them, but also is going to have to start viewing the tarantula in the same way. With the Three of Pentacles here, what this is indicative of is the owl's willingness. What's shifting is the owl's willingness to work together. in whatever endeavor is going on right now. As I am so curious about what the heck this is. So if you picked this and this is resonating, please share with me what is going on, because this is, I've never done a reading that it feels like, it just feels so interesting. Okay, so what's shifting for the tarantula? We have the Five of Swords. We have Judgment. And we have the Three of Wands. Okay, so if you are the tarantula, I would say that there is a little bit of a warning here. Right when I was pulling these out just a second ago, I saw the Seven of Swords. Here it is. So if you are the tarantula, what this is telling me is that it's always a wonderful thing when you've found your voice, when you've found what inspires you, when you've found your path. But be mindful of how you go about getting to that path and then following that path, because what you're putting out into the universe is going to come back to you. And what I'm seeing here is that it might be beneficial for this tarantula person to hear what the owl has to say, because it feels like with Judgment here and the Five of Swords and the Three of Wands that something is shifting, something is on the way for this tarantula. And I don't think it has anything to do with failure. It feels like there's going to be gains for this tarantula, but at what cost? What is it that this tarantula is going to lose in order to gain whatever goals the tarantula has set? So that's what's shifting for this tarantula, is a perspective shift in how they've treated others to get to where they want to be, perhaps, or how they feel about themselves once they achieve their goals. So it's very important to be mindful of how you are interacting with others and the universe, and asking yourself whether or not this is behavior that you are proud of. Yeah, very interesting. Let's go ahead and look into the connecting energies of how these people, what these people are thinking. Okay, we have blame. So both people, I think it's very clear from what I saw that the owl feels very worried and feels like they don't have any control. But it also feels like the owl has had a lot of control, or has had a lot of say in the past about this connection. And rather than blame, what I'm sensing with the tarantula is this feeling of resentment. Yeah, let's see what they're feeling. Indecision. I think both of these people feel out of touch with their intuition in some way, shape, or form. Like the tarantula has found its path and is just marching forward, but perhaps blindly. And the owl isn't listening. It's only feeling. And then when it comes to what's shifting, we have dangerous depths. So what this is telling me is that what's shifting is more of the same kind of conflict, but dangerous depths can be something that's very beneficial if both parties can make it out of the storm. But there's going to be a moment here in which things get a little bit more conflict ridden, I want to say. And I think that the owl is shifting into recognizing that if they want to alleviate the conflict, they're going to have to change their approach. And I think that what this here is indicating for the tarantula is that if they aren't aware of what they're doing, they could really make things a lot worse. So to just be intentional with how they treat others and themselves. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. So what advice is there for the owl? It's generosity. Okay, I am so curious about what you guys are up to. I give generously to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know there is more than enough to go around, and the key is to allow it to keep going around without stopping. If I stop the flow, I'm like the one person at the stadium who doesn't do the wave. Okay, let's see what the tarantula needs to hear. What does the tarantula need to hear? What advice is there for the tarantula? Come on, any day now. Vitality. I am healthy and vital and strong. My radiant love of life. Oh my gosh, okay. My radiant love of life fills me with healthy, vital, and strong cells. Each cell is a warrior. Every one has its own sword and shield. I dare you to try and penetrate my cellular army. Didn't think so, chump. What I'm getting from this most specifically is to really trust yourself. You're on the tarantula, I get the feeling, feels like they're on the right path, and to really, this is advising the tarantula to really stay in that place of encouragement of yourself. Let's go ahead and get some affirmations. What do they need to hear? Compassion is my compass. I am willing to hold space for the experience of others. And I seek out happy people who inspire me to be great. All right, pile 4. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, pile 4. I hope I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye.